live. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I just have some really fun things to share with you about that. It's a fun holiday, and there's so much more to it than I know drinking beer and having parades. So I just wanted to share some things with you on that in just a bit. I have 10 facts that you may not have known about St. Patrick's, but let me go ahead and get to saying hello to everybody first. Just make sure that we're working here. Okay, then I'm just had to do a mic check. Hey, Brat's mom, Linda, so good to see you in the chat today. She says all the way from, let me go do that. A cloudy, cold, and damp southwest Chicago suburbs. Wow. The sun is shining here, but I'm looking in the background out the window, and I know the storms are coming in about an hour or so. But in the meantime, we are enjoying the Carolina sun here. Kelly, honey, I am so sorry to hear about your sad news. I just cannot imagine. I will try to keep you in my prayers, okay? With the loss of your brother, and yeah, that is hard. I cannot imagine. And Bobby, I saw that ahead of time in the chat about your roommate. I love the way you phrased it. You said that he got his wings last night. So, but I am so sorry to hear that you have lost another friend. For those of you who don't know, Bobby has been a friend of our channel for a long time, and he is a very sweet young man. I got to meet him last year on one of my trips about, and he lives in a nursing home. And I will say this about Bobby: he is the sunshine of that place, and he encourages so many people there. I think particularly the staff, because as if anybody's ever worked at a nursing home, it's a wonderful place. It's a hard place to work because you get to know these wonderful people, and then they go home to be with the Lord, hopefully. And it's just hard because it happens over and over again. And Bobby has been living there since his mom passed away. I think it's going on 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago. And when I saw him there, he was, I will just say, he was the sunshine. He just gets along so well with the staff and the other residents. He's a big encouragement to many people there. So Bobby, you have a serious ministry there, pal. We will pray for you, but hang in there, okay? I'm just so glad that you are there to encourage those sweet people. All right. Yes, this is, by the way, if you are here for the first time, we are going to talk about crochet, but we are primarily a community during our lifetime, and there are a lot of our friends come here, and we just visit on Fridays and talk about stuff, sometimes related to crochet and yarn. All right. Ashley, I'm so glad that you could join our chat today. And she says, I love that blanket I'm making. Everyone loves it. It's coming out very good, especially if I'm using different colors, different color yarns called ombre. Excellent. That's excellent. I would love to see it. And for those of you who don't know, if you ever want to send me a photo of your work, I would love to see it. And you can just send that to me to bonniebay@me.com. The email is should be in the video description below if you are ever joining and don't know where you could find that. It is in the video description below. Okay. All right, we have Angie in the chat. So good to have you, Angie, and Joni. And thank you for encouraging Kelly there, Joni. You're so sweet. Many of you are. Thank you for doing that. And Alana says, good morning and happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. And again, sending her condolences. Thank you for doing that for Kelly. And Miss Wanda, it's so good to see you in the chat from Bahama, North Carolina. We're practically neighbors. Oh, thank you, Susan. AB. Let me go ahead and add that. Susan just blessed us with another. I'm going to add that in there. So now we're up to, whoops, we're up to $75. Thank you so much, Susan, for that super chat donation. And just real quickly, for those of you who don't know, whenever we get to $100, I try to come up with a song or music or something for you all, just as a little thank you. And the donation does go towards either Rancho 3M, which is an orphanage in Guadalupe, Mexico, or to let's see, Shriners Hospital for Children. So those are our two places of donation, and the next one is going to be for Rancho 3M, since last couple weeks ago we were able to donate to the Shriners Hospital and everything. So anyway, so thank you so much for your kindness there. I do say a lot, don't I? I was editing some videos this week and I'm like, gee, I really need to stick with the script. I say too much. Anyway, thank you, Wanda, for your prayer there. That is so sweet, of praying that everyone else is doing well and having a great St. Patty's Day. And Alana says she's going to watch The Quiet Man. One of my favorites. I love, is it Maureen O'Brien and John Wayne? It's an excellent, excellent movie. I love watching that. I just love her spirit. She's one of my favorite actresses. Very, very amazing woman. And yeah, Wanda says she likes that movie too. We have Jeanette from West Virginia. Oh, Maureen O'Hare. Thank you, Hannah. I stand corrected. My movie buff daughter. Yeah, Maureen O'Hare. Thank you. Make sure I get that right. And yes, Bobby, I'm getting to your comment here. We will be praying for you and your roommate's family for sure. Let me know, Bobby, if there's anything I can do. Just email me. You know the address. And Love to Craft, it's good to see you in the chat. And Red Hooked, and yeah, and Pat Dancer. Thank you for caring for our friends here. That was so kind of you. And Swati, good morning to you, my LA friend. I hope you're doing well. Hope the rain, things are kind of subsiding there for you. And thank you for telling us about your friends, Swati. I do hope she gets along okay with the baby and everything. Okay, thank you, Hannah, Hannah's filling me in on my misquote there. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah, and yes, Swati, she your friend who's Swati has a friend who is pregnant and also has breast cancer. So she is on my prayer list. I need to pray for her more. But thank you for reminding us and letting us know. And Jeannie, the Proverbs 31 yarn lady, thank you for being in the chat. So good to see you today. And she says, hello all and blessings to you all. Thank you so much. And Margita, so good to see you. And Kelly, she says, I'm crocheting Easter Bunny ear headband. How cool. We have, I just got a bunch of things load at the same time. Well, let me go ahead and just, I wanted to share something with you. This may be a little lengthy, so I will try to get back to the chat, but I did not cover some of this. This is on St. Patrick's Day, and the reason I'm even sharing this is I substitute taught in the public school system for a few years after my kids graduated from the homeschool. And it was quite an experience for me. I enjoyed most of it, especially the teaching music on the long-term subbing. That was really a highlight for me. Hold on a second. Okay, I've got your question, Hannah. I'll get to that in just a second. But when I taught on St. Patrick's Day, I always brought a lot of information to share about St. Patrick's Day because I found that the kids didn't know that much about St. Patrick. The biggest thing that they knew about St. Patrick was, I think they thought he looked like the guy on the Lucky Charms cereal box, And they said, oh yeah, he's the guy who ran all the snakes out of Ireland. I mean, completely had no clue as to who this man was. All right. Well, um, let's do a little bit of I want to preface this with talking about how old St. Patrick, I mean, time wise, how long ago this was. Um, we don't know exactly because this was, back before the times we were keeping, well, there were records being kept, but it was about the time of 386 AD, or in the year of our Lord. So this would be about 386 years after, after Jesus walked the earth. So that was a long time ago. And to put things in perspective, because a lot of times people, see this as more of a Catholic holiday, and I just want to say that I think it's much more inclusive than that. I think people, no matter what side of the Reformation fence you fall on, I think St. Patrick is a wonderful person to celebrate. And some more dates for you. The Reformation, which kind of brought the separation, between Catholic and Protestantism, was in around 1517. On October 31st is when Martin Luther nailed the 39 theses to the door. So that was many years. That was more than, what, 1,200 years or so, 1,100, 1,200 years after the life of St. Patrick. In fact, St. Patrick wasn't even an official saint by the Catholic Church because he lived before that began to be a practice. So I hope I didn't mess things up historically too much, but let me give you some things that I found online about him. Number one, did you know that St. Patrick was actually born in Britain? He wasn't even born in Ireland. I mean, that might shock some people. Says, so while St. Patrick may be the patron saint of Ireland, he was actually born in Britain in the late 4th century AD. It's believed his birth name was Maewyn Succat, if I'm saying that right, and his family were Christians. His father was a deacon and his grandfather was a priest. And by his own account, this is what Patrick said, he was not an active believer in Christianity as a child. So he wasn't even a Christian as a child, even though his family was. Number two, he arrived in Ireland as a slave. He was seized from his family's home by a group of Irish pirates who took him to Ireland, where the teenage Patrick, or I should say Maewyn, was enslaved for 6 years. He worked as a shepherd for some of this period. So he was basically kidnapped, by pirates from Ireland and taken to Ireland and made to live as a slave for 6 long years. He traveled across Europe studying Christianity. Okay. Get back to the number 2 point. He was able to escape and make it back to his England home, or English, or to the Britain Isle 6 years later. He traveled across Europe studying Christianity, which took him to France. He spent much of his time there, but also visited Tours and the Abbey at Zitlerens. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but his studies are thought to have taken him about 15 years to complete. So once he was ordained, he decided to return to Ireland, and that's when he adopted the name Patrick, which means father figure in the Latin, patricius. But all that to say, he escaped from Ireland, from being a slave there, went back to Europe, to the British Isles, to Britain, and became a Christian, and then spent many years studying, and then went back to help the people, the very people who kidnapped him. He went back to serve them, which I just think is amazing. And point 4, he didn't just return to Ireland as a missionary. his mission in Ireland was twofold. He was to minister to the Christians who already existed in Ireland, as well as to convert the Irish who were not believers. Um, and one thing that he did is he used the things of the land to help teach his Christian teachings. And and one of the, I guess, most famous was the 3-leaf clover, not the 4-leaf clover, the 3-leaf clover, because most of these, or most all of them, except for the ones that are a little aberrant, have 3 leaves, and he used that to teach how God is 3 in 1: the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, 3 in 1. So, and he did a lot of other things like that to kind of transform some of their pagan ritualism and make it more into a Christian meaning. And that's why you see the Celtic cross. The Celts were anything but Christians. But what he did is he took a lot of their art forms and symbolism, as it were, and he embodied that. Instead of just casting it away, he transformed it into something that would be God glorifying, which I think is really cool. And that's why you see a lot of the Celtic knots, art in a lot of the crosses. If you ever go to Ireland, you will see that there's a lot of this. Just, it's beautiful work. And if you ever get a chance to go to Trinity, the Trinity Library in Dublin, you can see the Book of Kells, and you can just see this fantastic traditional art, and it's applied into some beautiful writings. All right. Okay, number 5, he probably didn't banish snakes from Ireland. That's a very popular legend. That's all the kids knew at this school where I taught. And they're saying that it's unlikely that even needed to be done because of the weather is so cold, and it's not very hospitable to a snake population. Not to say that you won't find one, but you definitely will find more snakes in the warmer climates than you will in the windblown island of Ireland, which tends to be pretty cold. Hence the the Celtic or Aran Isle style sweaters that everybody wears. They said the only common reptile found in Ireland is the common lizard. And 6 point, he did popularize the shamrock again, as I mentioned, teaching, using that to help people understand the teaching of the Holy Trinity. All right, and he was first venerated as a saint in the 7th century. So that was many years past his lifetime. Although it says he was never formally canonized, he has been venerated as a saint, the Apostle of Ireland, since the 7th century. And this feast day, the day of his death, was only added to the Catholic in the 1630s. So that was many, 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 many years after he lived. Oh, and this is one thing that I thought was really cool, number 8, and that is, when you think of St. Patrick's Day, I have to tell you this. Many of us have been to school, perhaps as kids, and you go and you forget to wear green. I mean, I've done that so many times, and I'm like, oh, forgot to put on green for St. Patrick's Day, right? And then the kids go up to you and pinch you. Well, I want to give you permission. I'm not saying to, I'm not advocating violence here, but if someone wants to pinch you because you're not wearing green, I have some ammunition for you, and that is the main color that was associated with St. Patrick in his lifetime was the color blue for royalty. It's the color green was something that came later. So the color blue, and St. Patrick, if you see him in stained glass windows and things, he's depicted wearing this beautiful blue robe. So it's called azure blue, or it was originally named St. Patrick's Blue. And it says, technically today, this shade remains Ireland's official heraldic color. The association with green came as a form of rebellion. As discontent with English rule grew, it was seen as a sign of dissent and rebellion to wear a green shamrock rather than the ordained blue. So, all that to say, if you forget to wear green on St. Patrick's Day and you're wearing blue, you can inform them that actually, did you know that? And you can explain the whole thing about the color blue on St. Patrick's Day. And I thought, this is number 9. This was interesting. St. Patrick's Day parades began in America, not in Ireland. It says, as the number of Irish immigrants in America grew, St. Patrick's Day also became an important event to connect them with home. The first definite St. Patrick's Day parade dates back to 1737 in Boston, Massachusetts. Is that like cool or what? Although new evidence suggests there may have been a St. Patrick's Day parade as early as 1601 in Spanish Florida, which is my home state. So I'm cool with that too. I've lived in both places. The large-scale modern-day parades that occur today have their roots in a 1762 celebration in New York. And then a growing Irish diaspora, particularly after the famine, meant St. Patrick's Day became a source of pride and a way to reconnect with Irish heritage. So there you have it. St. Patrick's Day parades began in America. So, and depending on the version you believe to be the first, it was either Boston and the Spanish area of Florida, which is probably around St. Augustine, and then later on in New York City. So, number 10, nobody knows exactly where St. Patrick's was buried. Several sites fight for the right to call themselves the St. Patrick's burial place, but the short answer is no one knows exactly where he was buried. Down Cathedral is the most widely accepted location alongside Ireland's other saints, Bridget and Columba, although there's no hard evidence. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, just some facts. I know I went on and on about that, but I just love learning about people that we hear about our whole lives, but then we think we know, but we really don't. So I hope you enjoyed that. And Hannah has a question for me from Mary. She says, saw online you were maybe attending the Frederick Fiberfest in April. Are you teaching there by chance or just enjoying the day? Great question, Mary. I am not teaching there. It's more, that is more of a marketplace at the Frederick Fiberfest. I don't know of any classes taking place there. It is a small event, but definitely worthwhile. There will be a couple of 2 or 3 buildings with vendors who are carrying, yarn and all sorts of things connected to crocheting and knitting and, fiber. And I will have a table there. I will be selling my books, and I do have many samples of my work. And it's like, this is mine, but like examples that I have used to make videos for my projects for the YouTube. And sometimes I crochet up a sample, kind of what I call like a prototype. So I'm going to have some of those available for sale. Most of them are one of a kinds. I'm just trying to whittle down my massive amounts of crocheted gear that I have at my house. So I will have some of that available for sale, but I will mostly have my publications. I'll be there available to talk, depending on how busy it gets. So if you are in the area, please stop by, and I would love to meet you. And I do have some little freebie giveaways that I usually have at my table. I'll have pens and tape measures and things like that. So yeah, so that I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be April 22nd. It's a Saturday. Going to be there all day, and that's at the it's in Frederick, Maryland. It is at the Frederick Fairgrounds. So definitely check that out if you go online. I don't have any information in the video description yet, but as the time gets closer, I'll be posting more specific information. But thanks for that question. That's a good question. All right, I am super behind, as you can tell, um, in the chat, but I want to go ahead and just try to do a quick say hey to everybody. I want to say hi to Sandra, and let's see, I said hi to Swati and Crochet done my way with Wanda. How are you, Wanda? So good to see you. My sister was asking about you this week. I think she wanted to friend you on Facebook, but I don't know. I told her I didn't know if you were on Facebook, but if you want to email me, if that's something, if you wanted to get in touch with her or not, but if not, that's not a problem. Um, anyway, we have Phil. Hey, she says howdy, Phil. It's good to see you in the chat, Phil, and Donna from Ohio. Um, and Ashley and Sherry. She said hi everyone. Missed you got to go to St. Patrick's Day. Prayers to all. Thank you. And again, Mary, it's good to see you in the chat. And Jay, Liz, and Leslie, and Nanny loves to craft from Aldershot, UK. Wow. And love to craft and Josie. She says, first time joining. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you joined today. And let's see. And Jacqueline. Oh, thank you for your prayers, Jacqueline. Thank you for being there for us. And Michelle from Montana finally made it to Alive again. Yay! And again, Susan, thank you so much for your kind donation there. And she says, hello, Bonnie and Hannah, thank you for your work in crochet. I've learned so much. Oh, Susan, that is so great. That really blesses me. I know you guys might think I get tired of hearing that, but I don't. This is really a dream to be able to do what I love doing and making that my work. That is just amazing. And Kathy from Greece, good to see somebody from that beautiful part of the world. Loved visiting your country back in October. And Chris, good morning. And Swati says, I need your support. Jesus to the crochet friends. After my diagnosis with the degenerative muscular disease last week, I'm kind of reeling on multiple fronts. Oh, Swati, I'm so sorry to hear about that. I will pray for you. I mean, and yeah, don't give up. I would I don't even pretend to understand or know what that feels like, but the sun is still shining. I will pray for you. Just pray that you'll be able to count the things that you can do rather than the things that you maybe feel like you can't do right now. My husband taught me that a long time ago. Just whenever we both can struggle with, you know, thinking too hard on some things. And one thing he likes to do is take an inventory of the working parts, take an inventory of, things that are going well and that are working, even if it's something as simple as, I don't know, just being able to think clearly, being able to put one foot in front of the other, at least for now. I don't know how much the degenerative thing is going to be affecting you, but yeah, we will pray for you, Swati. That's got to be a heavy diagnosis. And Hannah, thank you for being there for us, sweetheart. She's right down the hall. She's just wasn't feeling up to sitting side by side, which is fine. She's a busy girl. Okay, and Kelly wants to know if I could post a picture of your headband that you're working on. Kelly, if you want to send something to me, you can. I mean, I can take a look and see. Most of my photos that I post is mostly on Facebook and Instagram. So if you want to send it to me, to my email bonniebay@me.com, we can take a look. And if it's something that you're selling on your Etsy page, let me know. Just let me know. I'll be glad to pass on the good word for you. Okay, we have Sue Ann. So good to see you in the chat, Sue Ann. And And Jacqueline, thanks for taking care of Swati. You guys are so sweet. And Sandra, you too. And Cynthia, it's good to have you in the chat. She says, gotta go for a lung checkup. Oh my goodness. But had my testing again. Everything looks really good. Thank God for his healing power. Yes, 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 yes. And Joni says, that wrap that I'm wearing has her name on it. Well, Joni, this is one of the easiest things. Let me show you. This is one of the easiest things. It's been on my channel a long time. If you look, go to my homepage and look at the playlist, and just look at scarves. This is an easy beginner scarf. And this is a one cake of a yarn that I had in my stash. Works up really quickly. You can use any kind of yarn, any weight. Just make sure you match the hook to the weight, and you're good to go. And this is just one of the few scarves that I brought down with me. All my other samples are back home. But yeah, I love wearing this. This is one that I've worn before. So if it's things that I wear, I'm keeping those for me. But I do have a lot of designs that I just have too many to really keep because they will just stay in a box and they just don't get worn. So I prefer to, if I don't give them away, I prefer to sell them, or taxes are coming, so I may have to sell a lot of things off so that I can keep the IRS happy. But anyway, and let's see, we have Leslie Gates in the chat. Hey Leslie, and I just got a bunch of new. We have, is it Richa or Rika? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. She says, I love watching your videos and learning a lot. I am new to crocheting, so thank you for sharing all of your work. Loads of love. Well, thank you, Rika. That is so sweet. I love doing this. And Ashley says her birthday is April 1st. Well, actually, I don't know what my schedule is going to be before then, but let me just wish you an early happy birthday. That's wonderful. A lot of April birthdays in my family. That's all I'm gonna say. But April is a great month, and what a fun day to be born on. Um, and let's see, we have Stephanie in the chat. She says, I missed the whole history lesson, but I'll watch the replay. Okay, well, let me look at that part. Oh wow, Patty from Uruguay. She said it's a hot summer in Uruguay, but crocheting your Celtic throw for a wedding gift. Ugh, what a devoted friend you are, Patty. Wow, that's right. You guys are in the southern hemisphere. And Phil says, I guess in regards to what we shared about St. Patrick's, he said, this is how you know they are good people. People that should be rightfully despised. Then they go back and try to save them. Absolutely. That's I'm glad you saw that. I mean, that's just amazing. Is you know, St. Patrick really walked his talk, and I I really love the guy. Um, I mean, what we can know from history, of course, and we know all mankind and womankind, we are all, fraught with faults and sin. That's the undergirding premise, and we some of you may disagree with me on that, but still, but yeah, for a person to do that, I mean, I believe personally there was just one perfect man, and his name was Jesus, is Jesus, and the rest of us don't hold the candle to him. That's why we need him. But St. Patrick, yeah, it was a real giving of yourself to go to the very people that you could blame them for ruining your life, when actually God used that to make his life so much better, and to make many other people's lives so much better because of the suffering that he endured for those years and being separated from his family. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you for that follow up. She says, while we listen to St. Patrick's history, I want to say thank you to those who sent prayers for my daughter, 2 months since her stroke, walking, talking better, and some right arm movement. Michelle, that is such a great report. Thank you. Thank you for that. Um, And I'm so glad that that baby is doing well too. Oh, and Brad Small says a lady I worked with years ago named two of her children Patrick and Patricia. I guess she loved that name. Wow. I know that would be confusing in the household. Um, when I was growing up, both my name and my sister's name started with B's, even though they're pretty different. But um, my mom and dad always got us confused. But then again, I would get my kids' names confused. So I guess Patricia and Patrick, hey, why not? Um, uh-oh. Looks like Hannah's been barring the gates. Uh, yeah, that's right, Hannah. My sister and I, we had the same middle name too. That is correct. That is correct. So yeah, that was a little confusing. So if you got mad and got the whole name thrown at you, if the parents got mad and said the whole name, yeah, yeah, yep, yep, yep. Um, oh, Beth, thank you so much for your sweet donation. I didn't even see that come in, so I'm going backwards in the chat to see what I've missed. Thank you so much. That brings us up to 80. So thank you very much for your kindness there. And I'm making sure okay, Pat Dancer, it's good to see you in the chat, Pat. I don't know if um, okay, I see, okay. And Joni said, okay, yeah, yeah. Looks like Hannah's had to deal with somebody here. I'm sorry about that, guys. Um, hold on. Okay, thank you, Hannah. All right. Yeah, sometimes you just don't know um, whenever you go public, but might have been fine. You just don't know. Um, oh, and Beth is in the chat. Hey, Beth, it's good to see you. She said that Terry is training a person who can't watch today. She's working on the poncho you just put up. Well, give her a big hug for me, okay, Beth? I appreciate you guys. It was just such a joy to meet you last year in Pittsburgh. And Caroline, for the love of crochet, said, I still don't know what it's about. Okay. I don't know if that's in regard to all the, oh my goodness, there was a lot of postings that I missed here. Um, yeah, thank you, Hannah, for doing that. Um, yeah, okay. Well, let me go ahead and tell you a couple more things for the calendar that are coming up. Interweave Yarn Fest I will be teaching some classes. I don't know exactly how many because we have to wait to see how they fill, but there will be 8 classes available. Now, if those classes don't get the minimum amount of students, then those classes won't happen. But there are at least 8 potential classes. I'm going to wait till we get a little bit closer to let you know because that's in August. That's still way out. But for those of you who are planning the year and you want to plan a fun trip, and let me say this, no pressure for signing up for my classes on this, but I just want to say that if you've never gone on a trip that gets you out of your environment and just a different town just for an overnight or something and to a fiber festival of some sort, I I would encourage you to consider doing that if you can. It's just a chance, not exactly a retreat, but kind of to pull away from your daily routine, um, to be able to see a lot of beautiful yarn and things, to meet people who are like-minded in your craft, um, to meet new people, maybe learn a new skill. It's so enriching. I even if I wasn't teaching at these, I would still go. For about 8, 9 years before I was able to teach, I would still go every year to the Crochet Guild of America conference. That was the one that I was most aware of. Now I'm aware of several others, And by the grace of God, I'm able to teach at the Interweave Yarn Fest. There are three actually that you can choose from. There's one happening in April in Loveland, Colorado. And if you go to the interweave.com website, you can get all the details on that. There is going to be one in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm not sure of the dates of that. I think it's June, but I'd have to look that up. I'm going to be teaching at the one in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is Amish country. August, this will be August 2nd through the 5th. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's only a few hours from my home, so I'll be able to drive and bring a lot more equipment to this. So I'm excited about that. In August 24th through 26th, that's at the end of August, I'm going to be at the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival, and that is outside of Pittsburgh. So you're not going to have to worry about parking. There's plenty of parking and everything at the hotel. It's a wonderful event. Lots of classes available there, and the price point is actually on the low side at that particular conference. So if I just wanted to throw that out there, and I have news break here. I have been contacted this week, and the Dallas Fort Worth Fiberfest wants me to come teach in. It's in Irvine, Texas. It's kind of near it's in the Dallas Fort Worth area of Texas, and that is September 14th through the 17th. Contract has not been signed yet, but it looks like I probably will be teaching about 4 classes out there. So that's a brand new addition to my schedule. So if any of you are out there in Texas and have never been to the Dallas Fort Worth or DFW Fiber Festival, check it out. I have never been to this festival, but I have heard that it is huge. It is held at the conference, what do they call it, the convention center in Irvine, Texas. So looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to going back there and actually hoping to catch a rodeo on a Saturday night or at the stockyards. We'll see what's going on back there, but definitely looking forward to that chicken fried steak and maybe a visit to that leather store over at the stockyards. So looking forward to that, guys. So if you were in that area, get your calendars out and maybe put a little star on it to check out the Dallas Fort Worth Fiber Festival. All right, what else do I have to tell you today? Thank you for helping this project to do well on YouTube. This is the Celtic braided stole. I showed you this last week. You guys have seen this, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention again this week. I have an evaluation on the yarn that Universal Yarns is bringing. It's yarn that was actually grown and milled in Ireland. It's in like one of their last operating mills on the island. So I do talk about my opinion on the yarn, and I give that to you in detail. So you can check that out on Monday. I'm going to try to have this up sooner on the Watch channel. I've just not been able to get things there yet. I have family coming into town, and I'm getting ready to transition back home to Maryland. So anyway, thanks for your patience on responding, because I may be a little bit later in responding in the next few days as we celebrate some really fun things. My mother-in-law turns 94 this weekend, so we're really excited for her, and the family's going to be in town. So we have really fun things happening. All right. Let me see what else we got. Thank you, Hannah, again for keeping things safe in the chat. You just never know. Let's see. Yeah, Swati found it a little obnoxious. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Okay. catching up to where I left off here. Okay, okay. I just want to see if there's anybody new. Okay, all right. And okay, I am so slow, guys. Give me a second here. I never took speed reading, in case you can't tell. I'm not sure I would be able to do that anyway. And Mary says, "Oh, nice. I will try to get out to the fairgrounds." Yeah, please do. They always have a lot of nice vendors there, a lot of great yarns. So if you have a trouble, Mary, and this goes for any time you go to these conferences or the fiber festivals, if you're looking for particular yarn for projects, this is a great time to get your list out and go looking. If you're on a particularly tight budget, you might want to leave your credit card at home where it's safe. What did I do a lot of times when I go to these is I have a predetermined budget in mind. Or if I'm looking for a yarn for a particular thing, I have that noted on my phone. And that just keeps me from being out of control. I don't usually have too many problems on the yarn thing, but that's my advice is if you go to these is just predetermine before you go what would your budget be, and that way everybody's happy. You don't spend your food budget, you know what I mean. Not that that would be a problem, but yeah, but there are some beautiful things, and it's really fun. You can meet the people who actually dyed the yarn, so it can be really, really, really fun. But do stop by, Mary. I'd love to meet you if you're in the area. And Marie Proudfoot, it's good to see you in the chat, Marie. And was it? I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is Jeanot? Is that? It's probably a silent T because you're from Quebec. Is it Janae or Janot? Maybe from Quebec. Well, welcome to our chat. And again, forgive my lack of understanding French, but you're so welcome here. If you don't mind, we love to have new people all the time. And Julie says, watching at work again. And Terry Redmond, it's good to see you in the chat, my friend. She says, Hannah, Bonnie, pray all is well. Yeah, yes, by the grace of God. That's how we roll here. Oh, thank you for your kind comment. If that's the way you pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. And Ashley says, wishing Hannah and everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Terry, for your blessing to Swati. That is really sweet. All right. I might end a little bit early today. No, I won't. No, I won't. I have some jokes for you again. I saw these. I thought, okay, we're still in National Crochet Month or National Craft Month. However you want to label it. It's just an excuse for us to talk a little bit more about our craft. So I have some more jokes. You can laugh if you think they're funny. They may be totally cornballish, but anyway. I have one for you. What happened to the naughty little Afghan? And the answer is he got into trouble. Okay. Why could a crocheter never be prime minister? Do you know why? Because she would keep too much yarn in her cabinet. Okay. Moving right along. This is why I don't make a living as a comic. Okay. Why are Christmas trees so bad at knitting? They're always dropping their needles. Ha 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 ha. Okay. And I thought this was cute. The original question was, how do knitters travel? Or you can even say, how do Bonnie Bay crocheters travel? And the answer, by cable car. Okay, maybe not so funny. I thought that was cute. So anyhow, Oh, one other thing I want to tell you about this is there was an issue on row 13. These, I pay people to tech edit this, but sometimes, again, our human nature creeps in. It has been corrected. So if you've already downloaded the pattern has been updated and re-uploaded. So you can just upload a brand new corrected version. The video, if you just are following the video is fine. The video is accurate. There was just some information in row 13 on the written pattern that needed to be corrected. And whenever that is brought to my mind, especially with my patterns, I try to correct it as soon as I can. That was brought to mind by somebody, and I thank them for that. And I immediately uploaded the corrected version once I realized what was wrong with it. So thank you for your patience on that. From Charlene Lucas, Hannah sent this to me. She said, hello, Bonnie. Is it normal to have more than one project going at a time? I also carry a scarf project in my purse wherever I go. My family is worried about my addiction. Well, I'm going to give you a pass on your addiction. As far as yarn goes, Charlene, I can't think of anything better to be addicted to, since there's really not many, there's no side effects except happiness. So I think it's normal. Even before I was a designer, I always had a couple of things going. Currently, let's see, I have one, two, I'm trying to think what I have, because I finished two projects this week. I haven't shown them to you because they're for the future. I have that stole, that mohair stole that Swati's interested in. I'm working on that still in my bag, in my basket. I am in the midst of an Afghan for this summer, or throw. And I have purchased additional yarn for another throw for this summer. That will be an easy beginner throw. And I started working on another stole from an older pattern. So I have 4 things going now. So if they think you're excessive with 2, maybe they just need to be educated that it is okay. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And I could probably be accused of being an enabler, but so be it. But if it was encouraging something that's illegal, that harms your body, that's one thing. But this is something that makes people happy. It relieves stress. It blesses others with the work of our hands. So I am not going to apologize for being an enabler on that. And that's my word, and I'm sticking to it. So, oh, okay. Somebody said they just sent me a sneak peek of a blanket. I'm looking forward to seeing that. All right. I'm trying to debate whether to do something or not. Let me just go ahead and read through some more. I see Valerie in the chat. She's a newbie. Valerie, so good to have you join us. Thank you. I'm glad I saw your name there. And Ann Butler, thank you. I will pass the birthday wish along. We are just really happy. And we have, is it Valalan from the UK? And Deborah says, neat, Irvine isn't that far from me. I could make that one. That would be so fun. And Deborah, let me just say this too. There are many classes you can take. If you guys don't have the ability to take classes, let me tell you a secret. It's not so much a secret, but the first time I attended a Crochet Guild conference, it was in 2011. I had virtually no income. I was a stay-at-home homeschool mom, dabbling in design. I did have a couple of leaflets published by then, but there was no consistent income whatsoever. I stayed with relatives 45 minutes away from the conference, which was kind of a burden having to drive so much. But I did that. I did not have any money for classes. I did a little bit of yarn shopping, but very little. But I met people there. I had the time of my life, and that experience alone convinced me that anytime I go to one of those, I'm going to save up all year and I'm going to stay in the hotel. I'm going to have breakfast with these people, not just fly in a car, just an hour, driving each way. So, but all that to say, I'm not saying don't take classes. We need people to fill in these classes, but what I am saying is if you're nearby, and if budgets are tight, and I understand that things are kind of weird now economically. I get that. But even if you don't have the extra money for classes, by all means attend, go to the marketplace, meet the people, have conversations with those crocheters and the knitters and the people who are dyeing the yarn. If you can take classes, by all means sign up for them. You meet great friends in the classes as well. You hang together for a few hours. And if you come to my classes, I promise we're going to have songs in between to get you up and moving. So if you don't mind the amateur hour on the entertainment to get you up and moving so that you don't sit too long, I try to make the classes a lot of fun. So I want you to, so all that to say, I want you to come to my classes, guys. But if you can't, that's okay. And if you're living nearby, still attend. Even just come and buy that $2, $5, whatever it is, ticket to get in to the marketplace. They may even be free. I don't know what it is in DFW Fiberfest, but definitely come and just soak it in. You'll be hooked. Ha ha ha. No pun intended. But anyway. Well, it is almost time to go. So I think I'm gonna play a song for you. I wanted to go ahead, even though we're a little bit early on the fundraiser. I'm gonna go ahead. This is St. Patrick's Day, and I haven't practiced this a lot, but I thought we'd go ahead and give it a try. I'm gonna give you one verse of a very famous song, Danny Boy. So kind of to remember St. Patrick's and to celebrate Ireland today. All right. Wasn't sure I'd be able to pull that off. It's hard to practice in the house when people are here because it tends to drive everybody a little nuts. Okay, Hannah did send me a couple more things here. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Hannah, for sending that. Donnella asked for prayer for her 52-year-old sister, D, who developed C. diff. Oh my gosh, I'm so familiar with this. My mom almost died of this many years ago, but she didn't. I hope that gives you hope. And is intubated and unresponsive due to having been given a huge amount of antibiotics. It's the same thing happened to my mom, Donnella. Let me pray for her right now. Lord, I just pray for Donnella's sister. God, I pray that you would heal her. Pray that you would bring her out of this. Pray that you would banish that C. diff bacteria out of her. I just pray that you would surprise the doctors and that you would bring her back, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh, that brings back memories. My mom suffered with that terribly. This was about 14 years before she passed away. And the doctors totally surprised her. Donella, I will pray that Dee will surprise the doctors and it will turn this around. Anyway, on that note, I wanted to just go ahead. If I missed you in the chat, I see other people I didn't see. Bonnie L's, good to see you in the chat. See if there's anybody else. And Valerie and Anita. And lots of comments here. Kelly, yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, and if you guys can pray for Dee, I just pray that, this will turn around. Um, I did not expect my mom to live another 14 years like she did after her bout with that. Um, and I will say that if any of you ladies out there, gentlemen, get a barrage of antibiotics for an infection, by all means, take probiotics. Talk to your doctor. Ask them about, should I take probiotics now? Because I won't get into it, but all that to say, whenever I don't like to take antibiotics anymore, but if I have to, I'm on a constant supply. I eat yogurt every day with probiotics in it. Just what happened to my mom was just amazing. It was awful, but then the Lord did bring her back to us for 14 more years. So anyway, I will be praying that will happen for you, Dee. Oh. Wanted to read the doxology from the book of Jude out of the Bible, and just hope that this will bless you all on this great day. And again, this is directed at people who are believers in Christ. So I don't want to, promise things out of the scriptures that are for one group of people and just kind of say, oh, this is for everybody, when it really isn't. I mean, this is for people who, and if that is not you, I just want you to know you are totally welcome here. I'm not being exclusive in any way, shape, or form. I just want to give an encouraging word where I can. And in the book of Jude, this is the doxology. This is one of my pastor's favorites to read. It reminds me of him. Whew. Now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling and to present you blameless before the presence of his glory with great joy. To the only God, our Savior, through Jesus Christ our Lord, be glory, majesty, dominion, and authority before all time and now and forevermore. Amen. I just love, love, love that doxology in the scriptures. And I've been thinking of St. Patrick. I just couldn't bring anything else to mind that would really be appropriate. Well, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and I hope to see you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.